Psycholinguistics, or psychology of language. Psycholinguistics is the study of the mental aspects of language and speech. I am Sara Mahmood, and today I am going to give you the definitions of psycholinguistics and some brief notes on three theories related to psycholinguistics. Psycholinguistics is the study of the interrelation between linguistic factors and psychological aspects. It is the branch of study which combines the discipline of psychology and linguistics. It is concerned with the relationship between human mind and language, as it examines the processes that occur in the brain while producing and receiving both spoken and written discourse. It is the study of the relationships between linguistic behavior and psychological processes, including the process of language acquisition, language comprehension, and language production. Language acquisition. Language acquisition is the process by which humans acquire the capacity to perceive and comprehend language, as well as to produce and use words and sentences to communicate. There are two schools of thoughts as to how children acquire or learn language, and there is much debate as to which theory is the correct one. First theory. The first theory states that all language must be learned by the child. The view that language must be learned was especially popular before 1960 and is well represented by the mentalist theory of Jean Piaget and the empiricist Rudolf Carnap. Likewise, the school of psychology known as behaviorism puts forth the point of view that language is a behavior shaped by conditioned response, hence it is learned. Second theory. The second view states that the abstract system of language cannot be learned, but that humans possess an innate language faculty or an access to what has been called universal grammar. This innatist perspective began with Noam Chomsky's highly critical review of Skinner's book in 1959. Next we have language comprehension. Language comprehension is a term used to describe a student's ability to derive meaning from written and oral language. One question arises that how people understand sentences as they read. The theories which are given to answer the questions are modular and interactive theories. Modular theory. Modular theory states that comprehension as a whole is result of many different modules, each devoted to a particular aspect of comprehension. Parsing is performed initially by a syntactic module, not influenced by higher order contextual variables. Contextual factors influence comprehension at a later stage. Next, we have interactive model or interactive theory. This theory states that syntax and semantics interact during the comprehension process, and we simultaneously use all available information in our initial parsing syntactic, lexical discourse, as well as non-linguistic contextual information. There is data to support both modular and interactive accounts. Which account is the correct one is still up for debate. At last, we have language production. Language production is the production of spoken or written language. Language production concerns how people produce language either in written or spoken form in a way that conveys meanings comprehensible to others. One of the most effective ways to explain the way people represents meaning using rule-governed languages is by observing and analyzing instances of speech errors. They include speech disfluencies like false starts, repetition, reformulation, and constant pauses in between words or sentences. Also slips of tongues, substitutions, exchanges, etc., and various pronunciation errors. These speech errors yield significant implication on language production in that they reflect that speech is planned in advance. Speech errors like substitution and exchanges show that one does not plan his/her entire sentence before he or she speaks. Rather, their language faculty is constantly tapped during the speech production process. This is accounted for by the limitation of the working memory. In particular, errors involving exchanges imply that one plans ahead in their sentences but only about significant ideas For example, the words that constitute the core meaning and only to a certain extent of the sentence. Lexicon is organized semantically and phonologically. Substitution and pronunciation errors show that lexicon is organized not only by its meaning but also its forms. Morphologically complex words are assembled. Errors involving blending within a word reflect that there seems to be a rule governing the construction of words in production, and also likely in mental lexicon. In other words, speakers generate the morphologically complex words by merging morphemes rather than receiving them as chunks. That's it for this video lecture. We will be meeting soon in the next video lecture. Don't forget to subscribe my channel. Good day.